So you've made a mug. You've centered the clay and you've made your first mug. You made your first cylinder on the pottery wheel. That's what you've made. It's going to become a mug. It's a cylinder, it was tall, and you're ready to move on to making a bowl. What we're going to concentrate on is centering just specifically for bowls. They seem like they'd be the same, but there are some small adjustments that I can show you that can make or break your bowl. A couple of weeks ago, as I was going around trying to help all my students finish their last projects of the semester, I see someone off to the side trying to take a shortcut on his final project, which was a bowl for him. Now, what he was doing is he wanted to make a tall bowl, all right? And this makes sense. I can see where the logic is coming from. He had it coned up, nice and tall, and thought, well, it's already tall. All I need to do is put a hole in it and open that up into a bowl form. And so what I saw him do was put the hole in it and open it up, and then it collapsed. All right? I'm gonna show you why that is. It's really hard to get your thumbs right in the middle of this. So he just kept pushing down. It started rolling out. And then started opening it up. And this is where it went really bad because the clay isn't spread out that far. If you have your clay on the bat right here and you center it for a mug, you're gonna have a little piece of clay on there like that, perfectly centered. You're gonna open that mug up and throw the wall right here. Okay, so that's gonna be your mug, just like that. The big difference between centering for a bowl and a mug is this. Or if this was our bowl and I was to center it, I would want it to be more like this. All right, so instead of that, I'll have it wider. I'm gonna center it wider. The reason I'm gonna do that is because I want that wall of the bowl to be coming out from right here. So I'm gonna push that down. I'm gonna make it a little curve up, like that. This clay is gonna come down here like this, and that will be our bowl. This clay will then be trimmed into a foot later on. The problem with making a bowl with clay that has been centered for a mug is this. If this is our clay right here, and our bowl is going to start the wall clear out here, we have an issue right between this and that gap and that gap. This is our wall. This right here is an issue. What happens is this, as we're pulling out, this clay will have to spread out on the bat down here. So as that comes out this way and that comes out that way, this area right here and that area right there either become weak or becomes really thin when you're making your bowl wall and it tries to collapse on you right there. So I have here a 1 1 3/4 pounds. So 1 pound and 3/4 of a pound, all right there. In the past, people have asked me how much clay I'm using. That's how much clay I'm using for this bowl, okay? So the first thing, centering, that we need to do is check our posture, okay? Our posture, we need to be close to the wheel, right? We want our centering arm needs to be braced into our body, into our leg, or if you're short, you want to brace it on the splash pan, but you need to brace it on something that isn't going to move. You want that to be a force that just gets up against the clay and does not move. So I use my body, I use my hip, I put my elbow right into my hip, and I press on that clay like this. So I'm going to show you how that looks. I'm going to take my clay, I'm going to throw it down right in the middle. Press it down. I usually press down around the edge to make sure it's nice and sealed, and then I'll get it wet. My centering arm goes into my hip, and I'm going to push against the clay like this. Now, I am going to push with my hand on a little bit of an angle like this. I want it to come up like a cone. I don't want to come up like a tower. If I push straight forward like this, it's going to come up like a tower. You can see the bottom starting to come in. This is starting to come up like a tower. I don't really want that. I want that bottom to stay out a little wider. My right hand is going to go on the back side, and I'm going to pull back towards myself with that hand. As it starts to come up, I can move my hand up it until it's a nice tall cone. All right, once it's up here, I'm going to push that back down. Now I like to use the karate method because I can see what's going on. When I usually do it by myself, I usually just put my hands on there like this and you can't see it all. So I'm going to do the karate method. My hands are going to be together like this. I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to slide it up about halfway from my left hand, and I'm going to put that on the top. This way my left hand, my centering arm, can still be bracing against it, and my right hand can be right against it, pushing down on the top of this. Now as I'm pushing down with my right hand, I'm going to be pushing forward with my left hand, making sure it doesn't mushroom out. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do that again. I want to turn that into a gumdrop, so I can turn that hand down. By turning it into a gumdrop, it stops some other problems, namely a volcano. So if you're getting volcanoes, it's because the top of your clay is really flat. So a volcano will look like this. You get that down there. See how flat that top is and how straight the sides are? They aren't quite straight. Let me get it a little bit more. There we go. Flat on the top, straight on the sides. When I go to bring that up, I get the volcano. Okay, you don't want the volcano, so I'm going to put my hands right here on the edge. I'm going to push down and forward. It's going to stop that clay from coming up into the volcano. Now it's more like a gumdrop again, and I can push on it, bring that up. All right, now the mushroom is when I'm going down, and I'm not pushing with this hand. If I don't push with that hand, I get a really big mushroom top. See that? And eventually that can actually come down. I've actually pushed that all the way down and had it hit the bat and trap an air pocket all the way around the pot before. And this was on a big pot. So it doesn't usually happen to me on small ones, but when I was first starting out with big pots, I did that several times before I learned not to make mushrooms. Do this one more time. How many times does it take to center clay? Up and down, up and down. After you get used to it, after you get more comfortable with centering clay, it should probably take you about 3 times. 3 or 4. Before that, you just do this over and over again until it's centered. Now this is what I would consider centering for a mug. If I open that up for a mug, it's going to be opened up to about right here, and then I'm going to make a wall. If I want this to be a bowl, I'm going to do this is where we're going to do a little bit different thing. So I'm still pushing down, but if this is going to be a bowl, I'm going to go down just a bit wider. See that? See how much wider that is now? This is going to make it easier for me to make the bowl because it's already out there when I put my... All right, so I filmed the last video and I forgot to show you something I really wanted to show you when you're centering, because I've had countless students now have an issue with the same thing. When they're putting the hole in the middle, they're using their thumbs or their fingers, but they're struggling trying to get that right in the middle. So if you're one of these people that is struggling with that, let me show you this. I really wanted to make sure that you caught this. Okay, so there's my bowl, my mound for the bowl. Now, I'll have students put their thumbs in there like this and start pushing down. The real issue with the thumbs that I see the most is it's really tempting to put the thumbs together like this and have your hands up above and not brace your hands on the clay. It's really a tempting thing to do, okay? So they'll put I'll see them put their thumbs up with their hands up out. I'll see them lift their elbows off their legs. So now this clay can move them all over the place. That's not what we want. We want these to be braced on there. They use their fingers. I'll see them push too fast and too hard and get it off center. So here's what I want you to do. This is a different method altogether. I'm going to take that centering arm. I'm going to put that on the edge right there, and I'm going to put my hand like this, and like I'm not just one finger, but I'm going to put 2 fingers, and I'm going to put that right up against this hand. I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to slowly start pushing down. Put some water in it, and just keep pushing down. Now I can drag this thumb over here to help, but I'm going to keep my hand on the pot. So what I'm doing here is I'm bracing my hand on the pot, and I'm bracing this hand up against the one that's braced on the pot. This helps keep this centered. It makes it so it's not as easy to flip around and be moved around by the clay. So push that down. See how I drop my thumb in there to help push? The whole time my hand is still on the pot. Now, to open this up, I can do the same thing I've done before. My students will go in with their thumbs and drag it out, fingers and drag it out, or you can put that same centering hand on there, put your fingers in the middle. This is the finger that I use, but I'm going to put all of them in the middle and put my thumb on the back side right here, and I can squeeze as hard as I can, and it's going to drag that open. Again, this is making it so my whole hand is being braced against the pot and the bat and my wheel and my body. So everything has got brace to it. Once I get it open, I can go back in with a sponge and make sure it's exactly where I want it. So I want this to be nice and curved. This is going to be a bowl. Hopefully you can see that. From there it's got That curve to it right there. And drag that out just a little bit further because this is kind of being a bigger bowl. And I start to drag that hole outward. I'll be able to come all the way out here and not have any weak spots. Because all of that will have already been pressed against the wheel, all the way out to the edge of where my bowl is going to be. So now I can throw the wall of my bowl compress the lip, throw the wall, compress the lip. Then, just like my other video about 7 tips on making bowls, I've thrown this up. Now I can go back in with my fingers and I can shape this out into a nice cereal bowl. Okay, once that shrinks, it's going to be a nice sized cereal bowl.